Hey everybody, how's it going? Whether you're new to business or just starting out, you're going to learn quickly that there's so much to learn. In my 12 years of operating a high volume, high revenue sandwich shop, I found there was so much to learn that I thought in this video, I'd like to cover a few of those key topics, a few things that are going to help you on your journey along the way to success. So without further delay, let's get into it. Sometimes what many people fail to realize is that businesses either succeed or unfortunately fail because of poor planning, poor sloppy planning that can really bury you even before your opening day. First and foremost, before you jump into anything, every business owner should have one key thing, and that's a solid business plan. A solid business plan should include a few things. Simply, it's just going to say what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, how you're going to make money, who your customer is going to be, like what your concept is going to be. So if you've never created a business plan, or if you're not sure how to go about creating one, you can search online and you'll come up with different frameworks, different ideas of how to go about it. Things to include and things to keep it simple. So it sounds pretty detailed and complicated, but it doesn't need to be at first. Basically, what you want to do is just write out a plan, a game plan that shows that you know what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, who's going to help you do it, and what your plan is going forward into the future so that you can stay in business. Your business plan should be simple and clear. As they say, if you can't say it in a sentence or two, it's probably not clear enough. You should be able to say it to anybody and have them have a clear understanding of what it is. So regarding your location, here's a tip. Here's a best practice that I can share with you before you sign any lease agreement, before you make any commitment. Physically go to the location. Go to the location, like drive, walk, spend time in the area. Count how many people are walking by. Count how many cars are driving by. This will give you a good idea of how many customers you can pull in. For you, for a sandwich shop, your key hours are anytime between 11 a.m. and let's say 1 p.m. Okay, 11:30 to 12:30. That's your sweet spot. So you can stand in front of another business, maybe one nearby. It doesn't have to be a direct competitor like a sandwich shop, but it could be something similar, right? Or it could be earlier in the morning like a coffee shop, and you can get an idea of how many people are passing in front of that business. You could reverse engineer that, find out what their ticket price is, and you could pretty much find out how much they are generating on an hourly basis during their peak hours at that location. That'll help you get a good estimate of what you're looking at and if it's going to be in line with your goal. Another good tip that I can share with you, something that I did before I signed a lease, is I walked around the area and I talked to other business owners nearby. I went to the dentist, I went to a dry cleaner, and I just simply spoke to them. I introduced myself. I said, my name is Eric. I'm hoping to open a business next door, a sandwich shop. It's going to be right over there. What can you tell me about that previous business that existed there? Would you be interested in a sandwich shop, a business like mine in the area? What can you tell me about the area? Are there a lot of people coming in? Are there people moving out? I spent time on the weekend too. I went by, there was a park. I wanted to see how much activity they had at that park to help me understand what the weekends would be like. And again, where I would draw that business from and give me good estimates on what my business would be. I also recommend just driving all around the area. In my area, I found that I had high schools, 1.5 miles one way, 1.2 miles the other way. I also had middle schools and elementary schools. I also saw all the different types of businesses that were around and shopping centers in every direction. I saw there were apartment complexes. Those apartment complexes are like little cities, and so are the office buildings too. I saw insurance offices, salons, all kinds of things, and I realized here everyone needs lunch, right? And everybody likes a sandwich. So I figured I could bring in a certain percentage of these individuals. It also gave me the opportunity to look at the traffic flow, the cars that were in front of my business. I went online and I called the county, I called the city to find out how many cars passed in front of my business. It's available for you, my city planning commission, and I found that 35,000 vehicles passed every day on average in front of my location. I was near a Y in the road, right? So I had cars going this way and cars going that way, and I found that 35,000 customers a day, potential customers a day, would actually serve me very well. I saw that I had a nearby coffee shop. Coffee shops are great. Other businesses like that are great for you because They're not your direct competitor, but you get to see the activity. They're busy in the morning, sometimes at lunch too, but they were busy in the morning, which worked as a great advertisement for me. When people went to the coffee shop through the drive-through in the morning, they were able to see me, see my location, and think, oh, there's a new spot, there's a new place to eat. Maybe I'm not going to have it for breakfast, but I'll be back at lunchtime, or I'll be back on the weekend, or even in the evening. So the visibility that your business gets, and you spending time as a business owner looking at the location and seeing all of this unfold in front of you, is very important, because it's going to spell your success or lack thereof at your location. One important thing to note is, if you see a place that just looks fantastic on paper or in photos and you go see it, try not to fall in love with the space too much, right? Until you see all of these things that contribute to it. A lot of times you'll see a brand new space in a brand new shopping center and think, great, this looks perfect for me. It's not necessarily like you're buying a brand new car or a brand new house. This is a location, and remember, the goal is to generate business. And when you walk into a place, they call it a vanilla shell, when it's just four walls and nothing else, a brand new space. Remember, someone's got to pay for all the things that are going to go into it. The less there is, the more you're going to have to pay. General rule of thumb, my best practice and tip for you is to find an existing building, something where a business similar to yours has existed already, because they'll have the workflow design, they'll have electricity, they'll have plumbing, they'll have refrigeration. Walk-in coolers are super expensive, and if they're already in place, you're already ahead of the game. Side note to that also is, if you can find some equipment that's previously used but in great shape, almost new, that's going to save you thousands of dollars too. Thousands of dollars. So don't be too proud to go look at something that's previously used, clean, in shape, sanitary, and then go ahead and buy yourself that and save yourself some money. So when you found your location and you've done all your work and you realize this is the place that I want, this is where I'm going to generate business and establish myself for the long term, that's when you go to your leasing agent, you call them, and you let them know that you're ready to talk. Okay, this is very important. Find yourself a lawyer that'll help you look at that commercial lease, somebody that's available to help a business owner with this specific lease. They're available. I didn't know that up front, but I learned it along the way, and that was, it cost me about $1,000, and it was $1,000 very well spent, because they'll look at it, they know what to look for. They'll look for things that should and shouldn't be in there, and they'll help you look at things and red light, and they'll help you understand the lease and what's in it, because there are a lot of like fancy words in there and things. If you're not familiar with them, they could give you a little headache. So get yourself someone that's familiar with it and is going to be working for you to help you out in the long run. So when you look at that lease, one of the first things that you're going to want to look at, right, is the lease cost, how much your rent is per month. But remember, rent isn't just the rent cost, the square feet per square foot price, right? So $2 a square foot and 1,000 square feet is $2,000, right? Simple math. Don't get stuck on that number. You want to know your all-in cost, because many leases, most common leases, have what they call a triple net lease. NNN. If you see that, that's triple net. That means that aside from your base rent, right? In this case, we're talking about $2,000. A triple net amount will be, you're also responsible for the property's taxes, insurance, and general maintenance of the facility outside, right? Like the parking lot, the landscaping, the trash, other things, right? So there's an all-in cost, and you're going to want to find out what that is, because that's what you'll be on the hook for every month. A few common things that you can negotiate on a lease that landlords are already maybe expecting if you're ready to negotiate property are tenant improvements. Tenant improvements are things such as help with build out costs, right? A lot of times they'll help you fix up a facility if it needs something. You can go ahead and ask for different things. They may or may not go ahead and grant that for you, but you can ask, right? And just keep it simple, right? They're not going to do everything for you, but they're happy to help with a few things, right? Another common tenant improvement, something that I had, is free rent. And you're going to want that, because when you get in there and you start to do your build out, right, your construction, you're going to be paying construction fees and utilities, and you're already starting to bleed cash without even turning a dollar sale at the register yet, right? So one common thing that a landlord will give you is some free rent. Easily 1 month. That's very common, but you can go 2 months, 3 months. I've heard of even 6 months. I had 3 months of free rent. My construction only took about a month and a half because I found a place that already had a lot of things ready to go. I just had to do some cosmetic things in there. But so I had about a month and change of business where I was generating sales and I wasn't going to have to pay rent. So that's very key. And that's something else that'll help you out immediately. One thing that you're going to want to look at also in your lease agreement are your future clauses, right? At the end of, let's say, your first term, if it's 5 years, what happens at the end, right? What are you going to do at that point? If you have a clause to extend your lease another 5 years, and then maybe another clause on top of that, another 10 years, and so forth, that could be very helpful. This way, you're not going to have to be switching locations at the end of your agreement. Also, one thing that you can find out is if there's an exit clause in your lease. An exit clause can help you if for some reason, whatever the reason is, whether you need to move town or something changes in your life or business isn't going so well, whatever it is, if there is anything that prevents you from either selling or transferring your lease to somebody else, or just if you want to exit the lease, what are your options? This is very important to find out, and they're in there, and it can be written out if your landlord agrees on that. You're also going to want to find out what the rent increases will be. Normally they're market rate, right? But you're going to want to know that for sure. Leave nothing to chance, and it'll be spelled out in there, but you're going to want to know what your yearly increases are and also what they'll be in future clauses. Here's another one for you that can help you out with regards to your lease agreement, an exclusivity agreement. Check if that's in your lease or if your landlord is willing to accept that. That can protect you. What is it? It's an agreement with your landlord that in that area, on their property, no other business like yours, a direct competitor, meaning another sandwich shop or another coffee shop, if that's what you're building out, will be allowed to rent a space on that property. That's very important because the last thing you want when you're opening your sandwich shop, your dream is another one to open right next to you, right? Or just across the lot. When I was looking for a location, I found many times that I'd find a great location, something that I wanted, something that I'd started to do my work, my due diligence, only to find out that there was another deli, another sandwich shop in the area, and I wasn't allowed to come in. So look for that. That's very important to your success. And finally, obviously, with that lease, remember that you don't spend more than 10% of your monthly expected revenue, okay? 5, 6% is more the goal, okay? Anything more than that starts to eat away at your profit. Less than that, good. And that's when it comes down to square footage too. For your type of location, anywhere from like 1,200 to 1,500 square feet is ideal. That provides good workflow, some tables for customers to eat, and good space for you to operate in the back so your employees are comfortable as your customers too. And the square footage will help keep your costs in line also, because only X amount of square feet and X amount of dollars per square feet will help you determine how much you're going to spend monthly on your rent. And again, under 10% is your goal. Less than that, even better. Let's keep it simple, right? You're going to want to do everything you can from before the day you even open to protect those dollars, to protect your hard-earned dollars and be successful in what you do. All right, good luck.